Biblical warnings in the Bible. What God hates. The Bible teaches us a lot about what God feels and explicitly about what He doesn't like. Even though God is very loving and kind, He hates certain things. When we learn about these things, we see how important it is to make good choices because what we do can affect how close we feel to God. The book of Proverbs in the Bible is like a flashlight that shows us 6 things God doesn't like. These warnings are not mere prohibitions, but a picture of moral guidance, each reflecting a principle that upholds life and community. These things are not just what God hates, they are the complete opposite of who He is and what He stands for. As we delve into these warnings, let us do so with self-examination and humility, seeking to understand and align our hearts with the heart of God. Number 1. Pride. Pride is often depicted as a heavy thread woven intricately through the fabric of human history. Biblically, pride is not just confidence or self-respect, but an inflated sense of one's status or accomplishment. An attitude of arrogance and superiority emerges when individuals consider themselves more important or valuable than others, including God. King Nebuchadnezzar's pride and downfall in the book of Daniel is one of the most outstanding stories on the subject of pride in the Bible. Nebuchadnezzar, the mighty king of Babylon, had built a powerful empire and a magnificent city. He was so impressed with his achievements that he became very proud. One day, as he walked on the roof of his royal palace, he looked out over Babylon and boasted, "Is not this the great Babylon I have built as the royal residence? By my mighty power and for the glory of my majesty." Daniel chapter 4, verse 30. However, his pride had blinded him in the fact that God had allowed him to achieve all this. Because of his arrogance, God decided to teach Nebuchadnezzar a lesson. He struck the king. For 7 years, Nebuchadnezzar lived like a wild animal, eating grass like the oxen, until he acknowledged that the Most High is ruler over all kingdoms on earth and sets over them anyone He wishes. Daniel chapter 4, verse 32. Finally, Nebuchadnezzar's sanity was restored. With it, his throne. He lifted his eyes towards heaven, and his mental wellness was restored. Then he praised the Most High. He honored and glorified Him who lives forever. Daniel chapter 4, verse 34. The king learned that those who walk in pride, He is able to humble. Daniel chapter 4, verse 37. This story is a powerful reminder of the dangers of pride and the importance of humility. It tells us that no matter how great our achievements may seem, they are nothing without the blessings and grace of God. It's a lesson that pride can lead to our downfall, but humility can restore us to our rightful place. To fear the Lord is to hate evil. I hate pride and arrogance, evil behavior, and perverse speech. Proverbs chapter 8, verse 13. Here, pride is equated with a form of evil, a rebellion against the humility that reverence for God requires. In Proverbs chapter 16, verse 18, we find that pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. This is an illustration of why pride is dangerous. It is the overestimation of one's abilities to the point of dismissing the need for God. When one is self-reliant, they are prone to overlook their dependence on God, the ultimate source of wisdom and strength. Trusting only in yourself can put you in a risky spot where you forget about God. Here, you are likely to make a big mistake or fail. Another famous story is about Lucifer, an angel thrown out of heaven because he was too proud. The Bible, in Isaiah chapter 14, verses 12 through 15, tells us about how he fell. He thought to himself, "I will go up to heaven. I will make my throne higher than God's stars." Isaiah chapter 14, verse 13. Lucifer wanted to be as powerful as God because he was full of pride, which caused him to lose everything. The practical applications of these teachings is the embrace of humility. Humility is recognizing one's own limitations and dependence on God. It is understanding that all gifts and successes come from Him. God opposes the proud, but shows favor to the humble. James chapter 4, verse 6. Being humble doesn't mean putting yourself down. Instead, it means understanding and accepting how we are connected to God and others. Embracing humility involves daily recognizing that every breath, opportunity, and ability we have is a gift from God. It requires thankfulness and a willingness to serve others, putting their needs ahead of our own. It's about remembering the simplicity of Micah chapter 6, verse 8. And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. Thus, humility is not weakness. It is the most accurate form of strength, as it keeps one grounded and connected to others. It's a protective shield against the destruction that pride can bring to our lives. Number 2, lying and a deceitful tongue. Here, a lying tongue is listed among the most grievous offenses, indicated how seriously God views the act of deception. A compelling story about lying and deceit in the Bible, apart from Jacob and Esau, is the story of Ananias and Sapphira in the book of Acts. This story is found in Acts chapter 5, verses 1 through 11, and serves as a warning against dishonesty and deceit, especially in matters of faith and community. Ananias and Sapphira were members of the early Christian community. At this time, many believers were selling their possessions and giving the proceeds at the apostles' feet to distribute to anyone in need. Ananias and Sapphira decided to sell a piece of property. However, instead of contributing the total amount from the sale, they conspired to keep back part of the money for themselves while pretending to donate the entire sum. Ananias first brought some of the money and laid it at the apostles' feet. Peter, guided by the Holy Spirit, questioned Ananias about why he lied, not just to humans, but to God. In Acts chapter 5, verses 3 through 4, Peter says, Ananias, how is it that Satan has so filled your heart that you have lied to the Holy Spirit and have kept for yourself some of the money you received for the land? You have not lied just to human beings, but to God. Upon hearing these words, Ananias fell and died. His wife Sapphira, unaware of what had happened, came in shortly after. Peter asked her about the price they got for the land, allowing her to be truthful. However, she repeated the lie. Peter then questioned why they agreed to test the Spirit of the Lord and informed her that she would share the same fate as her husband. As prophesied, she fell and died upon hearing these words. The story is a powerful lesson about the consequences of deceit, especially in a faith community. It highlights the seriousness with which God views honesty and integrity. The sudden and severe punishment of Ananias and Sapphira reminds us of the importance of being truthful and transparent in our dealings with others and God. The psalmist in Psalm 101 verse 7 declares, No one who practices deceit will dwell in my house. No one who speaks falsely will stand in my presence. This is a commitment to integrity that reflects God's own heart. The Bible frequently links honesty to God's blessing and lying to his disfavor. The consequences of lying and deception are far-reaching. A lie, no matter how small, can lead to a breakdown of trust. Trust is the cornerstone of relationships with God and each other. When trust is broken, the fabric of the community is torn, often causing irreparable damage. Lies create a false reality, leading to confusion, hurt, and division within communities and individual relationships. So, what is the practical application for us today? A commitment to truth. This commitment must go beyond simply not lying. It involves living in such a way that our actions, our speech, and even our silence convey truth. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 25 exhorts believers. Therefore, each of you must put off falsehood and speak truthfully to your neighbor, for we are all members of one body. This acknowledges the communal aspect of truth. Our honesty strengthens the whole, just as our deceit weakens it. To commit to truth is to save to a way of life that reflects the character of God and builds a robust and trustworthy community. It is to recognize that each word we speak and each action we take is a building block in constructing a life that honors God and serves others. It is a daily choice, a moment-by-moment decision to be people of integrity. Living in truth is not always easy. It can be costly. It may mean admitting faults, conceding advantage, and facing consequences. But the Bible assures us that the benefits of living honestly before God and others far outweigh the temporary gains of deceit. The Lord detests lying lips, but He delights in people who are trustworthy. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 22. The path of honesty is the path of God's delight, a road worth traveling, a life worth living. Number